For this cover art for Cost of Waiting, next single, um, I have the same kind of layout as before, where I have all of the text elements and the background and this little stroke frame piled all here, and then the particle layer actually inside of it. And this is what it actually looks like. So it has a background all the way at the bottom, and then it has the hand that I've titled literally hand. You can see with this one, what I was able to do is the emitter type. I was able to make it an OBJ model. I don't know if that's too small to see, but it's an actual object file. And so I had a model of two hands going like this, and I only took one of them. Well, actually, they're both like that. It's underneath it. I just moved it out of the view of the virtual camera. So you're only seeing it here. But I wanted the hand to feel like it was kind of like continuously being formed, but also being lost. So I had the motion and the auxiliary channels of more emitters make it completely re-emit constantly with a downward direction. I mean, pretty obvious, but the particle is different from what I had done with one another, whereas one another, it was just tiny, tiny spheres. They were like a pixel or 2 pixels in size. This one, the particle type is actually called a cloudlet. So the actual one, I don't know how well you can see it here, but like it shows you here, it's like these little blurry blobs that are bunched together like a cloud. And that's the particle that gets emitted over and over. And then what you're seeing after it are little trails that are made that are smaller than the normal cloudlets, and that still follow the same emitter size. And I made it so that they have a lifetime of, let's see, what is the lifetime here? 0.3 seconds. So it's not even a full second before any given particle will like cease to be visible, and it loses its opacity in a linear way, in a very even, like starts and fades away, starts and fades away. And then more and more have to be created. For this one, I have 5,000 particles being made per second, which again is pretty nuts. I don't think I usually have this high of numbers. The last one I had 6,000. I don't think I usually have this high of numbers of the particles. It might just be these two that I felt like I really wanted there to be the feeling of many, many small pieces, as opposed to, you know, like a good number of larger pieces all moving together. But that's the obvious one, the hand. The little like streaming things that you see flying across were much more difficult to create. They are made not with a continuous emitter, but they're made with an explosion emitter. And so it says here emitter behavior explode, and that only happens once. So what you just saw go by, I'd have to go back again and make it fire again. There's probably a way, if I was better at this stuff, to make it explode and like reset itself with duplicate systems inside of this particle generation plugin, but I don't know how to do that. So what I did that was kind of the most obvious to myself is after I got everything set up here and I had it moving the way I wanted to, where it starts to curl at the end. By the way, that's because I have air affecting it at an increasing scale of complexity as time passes with it. And then I have an auxiliary system on top of it also being emitted. So it's like doubling what the original emitter was, but then they get to mess with each other a little more. And it's what creates more of this coiling and, you know, like hair meets lightning meets whatever the heck. But what I did is I just duplicated, you can probably see, like a ton of these. Like this is, I don't have the, yeah, it's not telling me how many layers this is, but I don't know. If I had to guess, this is probably like, I don't know, this is probably like 40, maybe 50 different duplicates of the explosion of streams going across, and then I just mirrored it to come in from the other side as well. And once I got all of those done, they went just like the other one into the actual composition of the frame in the size that I needed it, with, you know, the title of the song and my artist name underneath there. Something cool that I can show you guys is that I had actually considered laying this out a little bit differently, as opposed to having the title name and then the artist name on the top and bottom. I had considered taking those off, not doing the partial stroke, but doing a full stroke. Let's give it a second to render and you'll see what it kind of looks like. This is what I had considered. I considered having the artist name like that, or actually, wait, no, I did want the title of the song at the top. Here. This is what I considered it looking like, maybe putting some things on the side, and it it didn't feel as cohesive, like it's like one concept being presented to me. So I played around a bit more, and that's how we eventually got to the actual cover art that you see now. And then, like before, you can see that I have this green little carrot that says winner. Go back to, oh, it doesn't go back to it? Okay, wait. I need to go directly to it. And I had clicked around through this one to see a bunch of different frames to see which one I felt it was a good encapsulation of the song, and it was this one in this case. This was winner. So I marked it, and this one got exported as the cover art itself. But the whole animation, obviously, you will get to see when I post like the visualizer videos of this. Yeah, you'll see this frame at one point. You'll see this other frame that ever renders. No? Did that change? Did that change? Did I blink and miss it? Maybe I blinked and missed it. Here's another one. There you go. Something very different. Anyway, that I hope that gives you a little more insight into the creative process for a lot of these. Oh, and if it's not obvious why there's a hand, like why there's a, what would I call it, a corporal element in this, then maybe go watch the video.